Sorry for the little delay. There's something about it. Every time I try to do a live, I have a problem with the rotation. I rather do it on the landscape format. And then every time I try to, when I start, it tells me to rotate my phone. So I think I got it. So let's see if you guys are there. Let me know if you can see. If you can see me and if you can hear. I am right in front of my window that faces east. So just to get a better lighting here. I'll wait a little bit and see if anyone is there. So far, it shows me that nobody's there. And sorry with the glare on my glasses are the ones that I wear for like working on the computer. And I have my laptop here so I can see the live chat, so you guys can ask me any questions. And sorry about my messy studio here. I've had back-to-back on weekends, I've had workshops. So yesterday I just finished one and it's still a little bit of a mess. But this dear friend of mine gave me these beautiful zinnias, which I appreciate. It puts my zinnias to shame. She was here yesterday. We had a wonderful time. Hi, Pat. Barbara, I don't know if, let's see, who's here? Audrey, I don't know if you're still with me. It's funny, when I see on the top, I don't see anyone, but on my computer, I see, my laptop, I see. Okay, sorry about I had some difficulties at first, but hopefully the lighting's good. My doggies are here with me. I have a bench right in front of my window, so I have one of my dogs are here behind the lighting, so I'm afraid he's gonna bump into my camera, but so far so good. So let's get started. This kiln unload is very kind of unusual for me because some of you may already know that I'm not a hand builder. I do most of my stuff on the wheel because I'm more efficient on the wheel. But I do like hand building. It just takes me longer because I don't do a whole lot of work that is hand building. But I've done a lot of pieces on this load, on this kiln opening that is hand building. And so you're gonna see a lot of pieces that I'll have also a tutorial, so that's nice. I made these pieces and I already have the videos on how I made it. So I'll be posting them, in the next few weeks. I'll be posting probably like once a week, I'll post a new tutorial. And as you know, I like sculpting also, so that's what you're going to see. So, and I took notes of the glazes I used because some of these, I used a lot of different glazes that I haven't used in a while. Or, yeah, I think some of these I was trying to get more like a fall vibe. And there were glazes that I haven't used in years. So I pulled them out. I run some tests with them, and I'll go over. But so let's start with this piece here. I'm very happy with this. In fact, I have the video already that I posted on this tray. And I was on the fence to see if this was going to become like a bird bath, which it could be because it's so large. But I think it would be like a conversation piece if you serve, let's say, a turkey in here, I asked my husband, I said, would that be weird to serve a turkey on this tray because it is big? And he said, no, I think it would be fine. So, but anyways, the glazes turned out so nice. So, and this is on Ellen Buff clay, which is high water clay. And I did get some drips, but the only one that really touched the shelf was this one here, which I think I'm just gonna take care of it on on the sanding disc that I have from Diamond Core. Yeah, because that one, I had some drips that came close, but it never touched the shelf. So I'm gonna leave these alone. But that's the color of the clay. It's like a buff clay. And it is, I believe it is high water clay. Anyways, the little frog I just sculpted, which I will have a tutorial on how I sculpt. Sorry about that. Hey, Lulu. She's right by my window and she barks when when she sees anybody walking or a car. Lulu, be good. Sorry about that. So I did have the video on how I just rolled the slab on a placemat. I have a video on this, but this is all under glazes. I'll see if I can get a close up on the frog. And then I use the Amaco HF9, which is really good to put over under glazes because it doesn't fade, you know, the colors. And then on this, what I did, so I have to look at my notes. It's one coat all over up to here also on the outside of Spectrum Soft White. And then one coat over that was one coat of Lustrous Jade, Amaco also. And then the lighter pieces that run, I kind of brushed in some areas here where you see the lighter green. I did some coats of pear, which is Amaco Celadon. And then on the darker bluish color is Mako Lime Shower, which I've had that glaze for a long time, and I tested it and I didn't like it, but I really like how it looks on top of Lustrous Jade. It's real pretty. And then right on the rim, just brushed in some areas, I did a little bit of seaweed. And I think that's the bluish that you see running. And the funny thing about this kiln opening is that, this firing, is that I fired, my top temperature was only 2175. That was the peak temperature. But my cone, I only put one witness cone and it was a cone 6. I didn't have another one. But the cone barely bent. So that means it didn't even get close to a cone 6. So it was a cone, between a cone 5 and cone 5.5, I would say. But everything got really drippy, and I think it was because of the hold. I hold it for 20 minutes. So yeah, that came out really nice. I'm gonna move over here so I know I already done that one. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Let me see. Audrey, I actually woke up quite early, freaking out about all this stuff I have to get done. I know. I don't have a whole lot of stuff to do, but because I've been doing the workshop, so I do have pieces that I'm doing for the workshop. But I know the feeling when you have a lot of stuff to do and you need to get done. Glazing is not the part of the pottery that I like, and I think a lot of people can know what that means, because I talk to other potters and they also don't like glazing. But to me, it's like I spend a lot of time on the glazing part, because the glazing can, if it doesn't work, it just ruins your piece. So I try to spend a lot of time on my glazing. So it is overwhelming though. This is another piece that is hand built. And I also used a placemat for this. And I have a video that I will post. Also, I took little videos of when I was glazing. So I'll be posting that separately, like maybe on a short video, but I'll go ahead and explain this one anyways. I have ancient jasper on the rim, about a 1/2 inch all over. I just went along with all the peaks that this one, I believe it's like a poinsettia, this one. with the texture. Yeah, about 1/4 inch. And then under the ancient jasper, which is Emako, I went with dark green, which is Emako also, about an inch band under that, following that peak, you know, all these peaks. I just went ahead and did that. And then I used soft white because that's something new for me. And I know Ceramics by Jazz. Here's a shout out for her because she uses a lot of that soft white on texture and it's beautiful. And I'm in love with that because it does show, like where it pulled in here, it got a little thicker, so you can't see as much of the texture, but it does show all over and in the middle too. So, and I like how he created the design, almost like a flower in here, in this area. So, and then I used oatmeal. So over that rim, over the ancient jasper and the dark green, I used oatmeal. And I believe the oatmeal is what gave me all these runs and the colors, you know, the different colors, because I don't know if I can capture here on the video, but it's got green, blue, a little bit of purple. It's very pretty. And then on the back is pretty much everything here around the rim, but instead of using soft white, because it's a very runny glaze, I used honey flux all over. And then I did the same thing around the rim. Now, this piece, I just go ahead and explain here. I used, you know, the wok, that pan that is like this, you know, it's like a big bowl. The lid is also in that shape. So I had an old lid that I saved and I just took the knob off and I used that as my mold, believe it or not. So all I do is I put a little starch, it's an aluminum cover for a wok pan. And it's about that size because it's big. I needed something big and I didn't have anything else. So that's what I use for this. And then I threw this on the wheel, the separate pedestal, because I thought it would be pretty to elevate this rather than just sitting flat on here. I added that separately and glued it with using the glaze alone. And then on the bowl itself, I carved a little groove where this would go and you don't see anything. So I've done these a few times now where I do this separately. I've also done it together where I throw on the wheel a bowl and then throw this, and then on the wheel I attach them together. On this case, I bisfired them separately and only attached with the glaze in the final, you know, on the glaze during the glazing and the glaze firing. So I have a bowl that I saved for me and I've had it for a while and it's that way. And I wash it, put it on the dishwasher. I never had any problems. So it's completely sealed all the way around. So that was kind of cool. It's a cool trick. So I really like this one. I'm happy with pretty much all of them, how they turned out. Yep. Audrey says, yeah, health first. Barbara, Doc said to stop at pain points. So I'm sorry, I'm missing some of the chats here. Oh no, Barbara, I hope you heal quick. I'm sorry to hear about your collarbone. Oh no. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm missing some of your chats. I'm just now catching up. Yeah, definitely health first. I'm guilty of that. I go through phases where I'm not very, I don't have a schedule like to take care of my health, also like to exercise like I should because I have osteoporosis. So The doctors already told me I need to exercise, so I'm gonna make that my priority. I swear I have to, because I put pottery first, and it shouldn't be that way. So, anyways, this little pig is the salt pig. I broke the lid, and I decided to do while we were talking during my workshop. While one of my students was doing her work, I was doing this one while we were talking, and then I decided to make the tropical pig. And look at his eyes. I just thought it was so funny, the expression, But anyways, this one doesn't have the lid, and I'm gonna probably sell with a little spoon, a little scoop. I need to get, if you guys have any suggestions. I do have the little wooden spoons, but I was trying to find some that is more like a little scoop, for the salt. And I think that would be cute. And it's got the flowers. And this is using the cuerda seca technique. And here's the bottom. I sanded, and then to make it real smooth, and what I do is I put oil. I like to oil. I use coconut oil on the bottom where I sand it. That is cute. I have the videos on how I made these, all my salt pigs. So this one, I decided to make one that is all white, because I know some people have a white kitchen and they want something that is all white. So I made this one white, and the glaze is matte white by Opulence. And it's really a really nice, almost like it has like a buttery feel to it. Because some matte glazes feel a little rough, this one doesn't. It's really smooth. And, the clay is standard 112, which is a speckle brown clay. And inside, I did Celso Chun, which I have the recipe, and I use a lot that for my liner glaze, which is a glossy. I use a glossy white glaze. And I fired this together, as I always do, with a little bit of my Mako liquid wax with a little bit of alumina hydrate. And what that does, it keeps from sticking. And I made the fit really tight, like a tight fit. So what I had to do after I pulled this out, I had to also sand, just using a file by hand to make it smooth where they contact. And now it goes in like very smoothly. And another good thing about firing them together is it keeps it round, so you won't distort, or warp your rim. So that's why I fired them together. And I like the kitchen stuff, that I like it to have a lid. So that's why I like my salt pigs to have a lid. This one was a coat of river birch, and then one coat of honey flux. I probably didn't even need the river birch because it has the crystals, because this clay is that speckle brown, 112. So it created a lot of specks, because I have the specks from the clay and the specks from the glaze. But I think there are pigs that have speckles, specks like that. So I thought it was cute. And it's a very neutral color. I think it will go nicely on the kitchen for someone that doesn't like a whole lot of color in the kitchen. And it has the same glaze inside. You can see it's a shiny glaze, and the lid fits really nicely. So all it needs now is a little scoop. So I made a lot of these, not a lot, but some of these, I don't know what they call it, trinket dishes with a little fox. I have another one, this one. And I just rolled, I used one of the texture rollers to show that the fox is like in a forest, with a bunch of leaves on the ground. But this one is, so it was all done, and I'll show how I sculpt that also, but it was painted with under glazes, but here is the Laguna Catalina Crackle. It's a very nice glaze, and it shows the texture really well. And then this one, I use Catalina Crackle, then I believe it's called Emerald. So these are all crackle glazes. Emerald, which is that green you see, and then Sky is a blue one, but I think where you went over the sky with the sky meeting the emerald, the two together kind of made it like a brown color. I mean, I don't mind, but it's not what I had in mind, you know, that it was gonna, I thought it would come out blue, but it's dark, but it looks like a nighttime scene. But I like her. And then one of my favorites was this one that I think, can't remember if I already posted this as a short when I made this, but, or maybe it was on Instagram, but I made this for my daughter. She loves foxes, so this is a little fox sleeping, and then I carved the leaves, like maple leaves. I actually took a maple leaf from my tree, and I placed them and went over, you know, did the outline and then carved around. So that's how I did it. And then I have the video on my salt pigs. I also show how I do this, the trinket box, where you trim, you make the indent using a popsicle stick, and then you cut it so it creates the gallery and the flange. It's an easy one to do. And the glaze, I did also a little, I always like to do a little key. I don't know if you guys can see that little dot there, because I also fire these together. So there is a key where that's how it goes. But the glaze, I'm really happy with it, is Midnight Rain. I did a heavy coat of Midnight Rain and then Blue Surf over that, which they're both Mako. But look at that blue and inside. So I really like this glaze combination. And like I said, I will have a video coming up on these. Audrey, my 2 lives were a bit hairy to start. Yeah, mine too. I couldn't find the right button and had to go through a few screens. It happens when you schedule as opposed to going live right away. Yeah. Yeah, I like to do the schedule so that it gives other people a heads up when I do it. But then, yeah, it's different than when you do a live right away that you know how your phone is facing. Even though I started with my phone already in landscape mode, but somehow you wanted for me to rotate my phone, and I finally figured out. Now, if I can do that again, I don't know. So this one, it's also a hand built, and what I did is I threw this section here on the wheel. As you can see, it's got a foot. So I threw this, and then I just made a cylinder with a texture roller, and I attached to here. So, and I did 2 mugs using this technique. So this one is a new one for me, this glaze combination. It is 1 inch right here of ancient jasper, and then dark green brushed on. I believe it was 2 coats all the way around. And then ancient jasper also a little bit here on the handle, dark green. And then on top of the ancient jasper overlapping the dark green, I used oatmeal. So I just bought oatmeal because I see so many good colors come out using oatmeals that I wanted to try. And I think I've used oatmeal years ago, So I wanted to give it another chance, and I'm not disappointed. So it really makes a nice transition from the reddish brown into the green. And then I was surprised that it creates this bluish color over the green, which is nice. So I think if I had gone thicker with the oatmeal, you would create even more of that blue that you see right here. I hope you can see it. There's some blue like right in there. And I think it's where it got thick. Um, so I'll show you if you guys want, I can put you the link of the roller that I used. It was a real well-made roller, but I found out later on that it wasn't made here. It's someone that makes them. I don't know if it is Germany. It was out of the country, and I didn't know until I saw the shipping took a little longer. But to me, it was worth it because it's really well made. And again, let me know if you want it, and I'll put the link. It's a guy that makes all different uh, types of rollers, and a lot of them are all with the botanical design. So that's what I used on a lot of these that you saw, a lot of my little dishes. So this is another one that I really liked. Done the same way. I threw the bottom about an inch, and then just to give a little rounded shape here, and then I did the cylinder and I attached. So you see how it has a foot, and then I attached this part. So this one is 2 times shallot, as you can see. I did it a little thinner. I probably should have done 3 coats, I think, because in some areas it looks a little thinner, but at least it didn't drip over that. So anyways, 2 times shallot, which is spectrum. Then right above here is 2 times indigo float. Then above here is 2 times blue rutile. And then the rim is seaweed. And then like so these are all in inches, like 1 inch here, 1 inch there, until I got to here, 1 inch of seaweed. And then on the very rim, just here, I brushed on ancient jasper. And then I went with oatmeal everywhere it overlapped. So I'm surprised that this one didn't go all the way through the bottom. It got close here. You see it on the handle, but it didn't touch the shelf. So I really like that blue. When it goes over the shallot, it becomes purple. So it's got a nice transition there with the colors. So I'm happy with that. Oh, I forgot to show this one. This little guy is our dog. It's a miniature schnauzer. She's black. I made that for my daughter as well. So this is the crackle glaze I was talking about. That is, it's called Sky, and you see that it's blue. But when you mix with the other one, it becomes brown. So that's just a note. And I didn't know that happened. So that Sky and Emerald together don't go quite well together. Uh, this little guy, I'm really happy with him. He was all done with underglazes. So I made part of the maple leaf, with that reddish color, and then green on this side. The frog is all underglazes, the pumpkin, and then I use the HF9, which is Amaco, only on the frog and the pumpkin. And then here I use lustrous jade over everything on the leaf. And what that did is it create, how lustrous jade almost looks like iridescent. I don't know if I'm capturing that on the video, but it makes almost like if I had done like a pearl luster. That's what it looks like to me. But he's cute. I also have a video on him, how I did the leaf with the little foot. So it's not just a flat piece. He's cute. Oh, see. See ya. Something must not be working since it's not chatting here. I will help back later. Okay, Audrey, see ya. I don't know if you guys can still see me for the ones that are joining now. Um, hmm. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. This was cuerda seca that I did using all stroke and coat. And this is a trivet that I made. And like I said, all stroke and coat. And in this one, I use a Sharpie to make these lines. So the Sharpie burns off during the firing, and then you're left with this real nice texture. And you see how it's raised, the glazes, they're raised, so it creates a nice texture. And then I sign my name here because I want to sand the bottom. It's just raw clay. We're going to be doing that on the workshop also. This one is just a test mug, and I like this combination also. So this is a new one. It is dark. First, I used about 1 inch from here. I used, let's see, Seltzer Chun, which I have the recipe. Is a cream color. It almost looks like honey flux, but it's a stable glaze. So I used 1 inch of that. Then I came about this much here in the middle with Amaco dark green. And then another inch or inch and a half of Coyote Summer Spice. And the Summer Spice is on the Slow Cool series that creates a lot of crystals when you do the slow cool. And that's what I did. And then I used a little bit of oatmeal right on the rim just to encourage more drip. But I don't even think you need the oatmeal because Summer Spice is a drippy glaze. But I do like the transition from that. And it becomes like a satin matte finish. And then you can see the glossy with the crystals in here going into the dark green. So I really like that. Again, this is a mug that I had that didn't work out. It had an octopus, so I broke it. So I just use it as a test. Just a good way to test. Don't throw away your pieces when it doesn't work out. See, I think this is the last one I have. You guys might have seen this piece on my last kiln opening. And it was just a hand-built bowl that I wanted to look like a shell. And so I did that without the piece for is a chip and dip set. But what I did is, kind of a large starfish. So the back, I left it raw clay, same clay, it's called Ellen Buff. And I put shells for the feet. And that's just using a mold. And this one, I tried to mimic the glazes that I used here. It just looks different because it's a different surface. Like this one I carved, so you get more of the texture effect. So what did I do on this one? I used shallot in the center. Then I used Louisiana Bayou, a band going all around, following the peaks here of the starfish, Louisiana Bayou. And then on the 1 inch on the rim, I used floating turquoise, which is the same as what I use on the bowl. And then over everything, I did one heavy coat of pearl white. So it's got 2 coats of each, 2 coats of floating turquoise, 2 coats of Louisiana Bayou, 2 coats of shallot, and then have them overlap each other and then pearl white everywhere. But look how the blending turned out so nice. I hope I can capture this. This is a large starfish. And the reason why I decided to just have this in the middle like this is because you can either serve the chips with the salsa or whatever in the middle, or you can have it separate and use it, this as a separate whatever you want to serve in here. So this is it, and I'll show you. I will show you what I used for that starfish. I got this really cheap at Home Goods, and you see how it has a little bit of texture, but it's not very deep. So I used this as a drape mold. I put a little cornstarch, put the clay and draped it over, and then trimmed all around, then put the little shells as the feet for this, and then waited until it was leather hard to come off of it. So sometimes you get bargains like this, either at a thrift shop or Home Goods, that when they have their summer sale. It was only like $2, I believe, for this. So I loved it that I found something to use as a mold. So you can always find, just like I told you, the wok that I use the lid to make a mold. So you can find things like that at a thrift shop that is great for that kind of stuff. So let me see. You can pin me my phone if you need it. Sorry, I'm missing you guys' chat. So I don't know if you guys had any questions. This is it. This is, like I said, it's a very kind of unusual for me with all the hand building pieces that I made. But what I had in mind is some of them I already had the videos that I already made, and I was waiting to have the finished piece because I always wanted to put it together. So I showed the finished piece at the end. So let me know if you guys have questions about the glazing. I think I will do like short videos of how I glazed. I have that. And also, I always ask if you have any suggestions for tutorials, because I love to teach. I know I have a few people that ask me about the sculpting, the frogs, the fox that I make, the foxes that you saw. And I'm thinking of an easy way to make them so that you go step by step, and I'll have the shapes, how I go about making them. So I think that would be helpful to see the progression of how I make them. So I will have that on my video. So that's what I could think of right now for my next tutorials and tutorials on these pieces here. But if you have anything that you would like to see, just let me know. So I think I will end here if you guys don't have any questions. Again, the pros and cons of having a live is that it's not edited. But the good thing is that people can chat. You can chat amongst yourselves and you can ask me questions. So thanks for being here with me. Thanks for watching. And please like and subscribe and share my videos. That always helps. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.